Shalom. I'm going to start by giving all the praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Arachakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. And peace, blessings, and salutations unto the four elect tabernacle of David scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. And here we go again. These devils getting caught in their own web of lies that they've entangled, over the past few years. Now, around 4 years ago, 3 to 4 years ago, if you was one of the ones who suspected that Fauci and all these demons had their hand in the funding for the gain of function research over at the Wuhan lab, you would have been called a conspiracy theorist, a tinfoil hat, QAnon, etc. They would have got you for misinformation because they stayed in denial about, their conspiracy in this whole thing. All right. And this is from C-SPAN. This is from 2 years ago when this dude, Fauci, was put on the hot seat. And, direct questions were asked about it. And he still was in denial. So more of this devil's lies being exposed. All right. And this is the reason why they want to, shut the internet down, shut down the freedom of speech, etc. It's too much being found out. So I'm going to play this portion of the video, and then I'm going to go to the New York Post clip, which was put up recent, where they were actually forced to admit that they in fact did fund the research. All right. The National Institute of Health. Very corrupt, man. So let's listen.
Till you admit that it's risky, we're not going to get anywhere. You have to admit that this research was risky. The NIH has now rebuked them. Your own agency has rebuked them. But the thing is you're still unwilling to admit that they gained in function when they say they became sicker. They gained in lethality. It's a new virus. That's not gain of function?
According to the definition that is currently operable, Senator, let's make it clear for the people who are listening. The current definition.
And here this devil go. One thing about him is he always liked to talk in circles. And he also liked to move the goalposts. He liked to, when you corner him on certain information in certain terms, he'll change the definition as it moves along, just to, keep himself from the heat. All right. They kept changing the definition of, immunization. And I remember that. They kept on changing it because they realized that people were still, they were still getting or catching the CVID even after getting their shots, even after getting their boosters, their boozies. So they had to keep switching the definition of what it means to be immunized. So they stayed getting caught in their lies, man. Let me get the precept. This is Job 13 and verse 4, and it says, "But you are forgers of lies, you are physicians of no value." And they're not going to hold themselves accountable for all these crimes against the world. Because this is now 4 years later and millions of bodies later that they now want to come forward and actually admit that they had their hands in this, in all this. And where is this devil at now? You know, he's nowhere to be found. Where the hell is he at? The man just disappeared. But this is from 2 years ago, and he was still in denial then, right? And then I'm gonna go to the New York Post clip, so you can see that they actually admit to it. So let me play a little more of this.
Was done over a 2 to 3 year period by outside bodies, including the NSABB, 2 conferences by the National Academy of Science, Engineering, and Medicine on December 2014, March 2016. We commissioned external risk-benefit assessment, and then on January of 2017, the Office of Science and Technology Policy of the White House issued the current policy.
And coincidentally,
I have not
coincidentally,
changed
the definition
any
appeared
definition.
on the same day the NIH said that yes, there was a gain of function in Wuhan. The same day the definition appeared, the new definition, to try to define away what's going on in Wuhan. Until you accept it, until you accept responsibility, we're not going to get anywhere close to trying to prevent another lab leak of this dangerous sort of experiment. You won't admit that it's dangerous, and for that lack of judgment, I think it's time that you resign.
Thank you.
No, it's too late now. The damage is already done. All right, but this devil, yeah, he's getting completely exposed, man. And let's go to the video now. This is just 33 seconds.
Did NIH fund gain-of-function research at the Wuhan
And this is the exact question that Ron Paul asked Fauci. Now listen.
Institute of Virology through EcoHealth?
It depends on your definition of gain-of-function research.
And you see how they play games with the meaning of words and definitions? This is why he's you can't never trust them. Because all they will do is just move the goalposts and lie. You know, why do you have to use terminology that the meaning of it can always change? And it's always changing for their convenience, for their benefit. This man is the devil, man. This is why we say what we say about them. It's not hate speech. It's just the truth. Well, it depends on the definition. Man, stop it, man. Nobody trying to hear that.
Through EcoHealth?
It depends on your definition of gain-of-function research. If you're speaking about the generic term, yes, we did, but this is research. The generic term is research that goes on in many, many labs around the country. It is not regulated, and the reason it's not regulated is it poses no threat or harm to anybody.
Man, stop it. See how you man, these devils are something else, man. But there it is. He admits to it. All right. So not only are they forgers of lies and physicians of no value, let me get this in Job 15. And it says, thine own mouth condemneth thee, and not I, yea, thy own lips testify against thee. So y'all are guilty, man. You did put money into that. Anything going on in the world where you stem to gain a lot from it, whether it's wealth, more control, you're going to invest into that, man. We all know that. People back then already knew what time it was, even though they was in denial. So you just already know they can't be trusted. And I'm pretty sure that they got their hand in many other initiatives, you know, pushing this climate change thing so heavy. I was noticing it was at a week ago where you had all these tornadoes ripping through the Midwest. You know, it hit Oklahoma, Iowa, Nebraska. And then I go to see the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and we was watching the trailers, the previews to movies that's getting ready to come out, and one of them being that movie Twister. I'm like, that's interesting. And they come out with Twisters, and it looked like it's gonna be a good movie. But I'm like, movies in production, when they start to film it, is usually a year in advance to the actual release. So it was like, what did they know, for them to produce this type of film, and then right before the movie comes out, all these tornadoes are just hitting like crazy. Hundreds of them from the beginning of the year to like around this time. It's been hundreds of them. And then there's more than likely more that's going to hit, that's going to, ravage through the country. So these devils got their hands in a lot, man. We already know that they have weather modification technology where they can emulate, thunderstorms, rain, rainstorms, hurricanes. They could use HARP to cause a big ass earthquake. So this man, like this is why he needs to be put down. All right, because he's constantly causing mischief and destruction on the earth. We know that unto him was given a great sword. He was given power and a great sword, and he's definitely using that. Let's go from there to Psalms 64, of course. And I'm going to get it in the NIV. And it says, Psalm 64:1, it says, "Hear me, my power, as I voice my complaint. Protect my life from the enemy, from the threat of the enemy." And his threat is basically his new world order. All right. Them trying to take away our ability to be able to speak. We ain't gonna be able to think on our own. They trying to completely control us. All right. They digitized form of currency so that they can trace and track and monitor everything we do. Ultimately, they're gonna try to put the MOTB into us. So this prayer is actually important, man. Protect my life from the threat of the enemy. All right, his weapons of war. His robots. He got all that, man. He got freaking microwave guns, microwave neural weapon technology, direct energy weapons. Yeah, man. These diseases that they created in these labs that they deny. Center for Disease Creation. That's that's how you should really say it. All right. It says, "Hide me from the conspiracy of the wicked, from the plots of evildoers." And that's, that they're sent out to just cause mischief. They sleep not except they have done mischief. Their plans are all rooted in evil, man. It says, "They sharpen their tongues like swords and aim cruel words like deadly arrows. They shoot from ambush at the innocent. They shoot suddenly without fear. They encourage each other in evil plans. They say," it's like they talk about hiding their snares. They say, "Who will see it?" And they do it when they have these little secret councils, these little meetings. They plot injustice and say, "We have devised a perfect plan. Surely the human mind and heart are cunning." And Esau, he's definitely cunning. All right, he's going back to that serpent. He was more subtle than any beast of the field. So all the ideas coming from him. And these nations, they just join league with him, just to, hop on board so that they can exercise lordship. It says, "But the Most High will shoot them with his arrows. They will suddenly be struck down." All right. And verse 8 is the point. And I'm still in the NIV. I'm going to go back to the KJV. It says, "He will turn their own tongues against them." All right. Meaning he's putting spirit on them to admit, their wrongdoing. And that dude, he didn't sound like he wanted to admit it, but he was he was put on the spot right then and there. Fauci, he was in complete denial when Ron Paul was asking him the same question. It says he will turn their own tongues against them and bring them to ruin. All who see them will shake their heads in scorn. Yeah, the world's shaking their heads at these devils, man. Look at how so much that they cause. Look at, what all their hands are tied into. That's happening all over the world. But we know that they're not going to be held accountable. So ultimately, the Lord is just going to preserve them. They're going to go into hiding at some point, and the Lord's going to pursue in Amos 9, Revelation 6, and other chapters. We're going to go down up in them bunkers and grab their asses out, and they're going to be judged. Verse 8, it says, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves, and all that see them shall flee away. So more lies, all right, being exposed. They're getting caught in their own web of lies, man. All right, and the Lord said that he would peel back that veil, the covering cast over all people, man. And that covering is those web of lies that they've webbed, together. Okay. And hey, all lies will have their part in the lake that burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. Okay. That whole ordeal that went down a few years ago, that was straight up sorcery, man. Clearly. And all of a sudden, you got all these athletes, musicians, all type of people just randomly dropping. And then it comes out, people post up the screenshots of their Twitter post about them taking the you-know-what. And you had virologists and scientists and people that knew about the whole thing that was telling people and warning people, and they were being flagged for being conspiracy theorists, medical misinformation spreaders. They were being demonized because they was warning and blowing the trumpet, so to speak, on people getting that. It was like, you gotta, unfortunately for y'all, but you got a few years left. All right, so that should tell you, never trust your enemy. All right, so Sirach 12 and 12, it says, it's like in verse 11, 10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Showing you that this devil, he will never stop being who he truly is, naturally. That's who he is. Now, when has he ever been known to tell the truth? Unless he's forced to. You corner him with the facts, and all he will have no choice but to admit and still try to somehow throw some lie. Even the dude that was asked that recently, you could tell, he was going through the emotions while answering that. Well, it depends on the generic definition of what it means, the gain of function for research. And man, stop it, man. Just admit y'all lied. So I just wanted to go into that. I thought it was interesting, to say the least. And this is going to continue to happen, man. All right, but they're not gonna stop though. It doesn't stop there. You know, that was just part of the phase. You know, they generated multiple billions of dollars off of this whole thing. You know, and now things are terrible right now. So, yeah, man, prepare for the next. It looking like the way they talking about this bird flu. You know, I don't know what's gonna come of it, but it's looking like that might be the next phase. All right, you know, maybe more lockdowns. Who knows? But anything like that happens again, it's gonna be it's definitely gonna be up in this country, and nobody going for that anymore. So, Khan, hey, Yahweh Shemiah Shai Brakatham, Shalom to you sincere brothers and you few sisters. And to the next lesson, I say, Shalom.